Is David Grusch finally going to be working within the government, helping them out about the stuff that he knows, working with the task force? Burleson's been trying to get it going forever. We heard rumors about it and people talking about it for the last year. Are they going to bring him in? Is he going to be helping out? Why haven't we heard from him? We've heard it again and again and again. Well, we got an update finally, and this one comes from Luna, who says, I spoke to Rep. Eric Burleson, and he has obtained permission to bring Grusch on as a staffer. We will be working directly with him in conducting investigations. That comes from a response to Unstable Research, Kyle W., who says, I'm going to be up here spamming just so you don't forget. And he's, of course, this was in response to all the stuff happening with the JFK files right now. And everyone's asking, okay, Luna, what's going on with UAP disclosure? Because remember when you go back and you listen to what Ross Coulthart said a couple weeks ago, saying he doesn't really believe that this task force is going to even get to UAP and UFO stuff because they're going through the JFK stuff, they're going through the Martin Luther King stuff, they're going through the RFK stuff. So he says by the time that they only have a certain amount of time, by the time it runs out, they're not even going to get to UFO stuff. Well, from here, it looks like Luna is trying and working with Grusch because we've wanted to see Grusch. Grusch has been off the map, or at least the public map. Maybe behind the scenes, not so much. People can probably argue that he's been doing a lot behind the scenes. We don't know. We haven't seen it. We knew they were supposed to get that op-ed that never came out. He was supposed to speak at that conference at one time, and he canceled. And I think it was Carl Nell who stepped in and spoke instead of him. I can't remember if that is exactly right. But either way, he was supposed to do a lot of different appearances. We haven't seen him on podcasts. We haven't seen him really in the public eye at all. And we have heard these rumblings. Burleson, it's not even rumblings. He's been talking about it to everybody. He's been saying that I want Grusch on. And it looks like he got Grusch on. Burleson to me is tricky because, when you hear him speak, he's not like one of these people that says, this is all a bunch of BS. I don't buy any of it. He's clearly trying to get to the bottom of it and see what it is. But he's also not just believing blindly, right? Like when you hear him sometimes, I'm like, this guy seems like he's against whatever he's trying to do. And then you hear him and he does things like this. You're like, oh no, he just wants to really get to the bottom of it and find out the truth. Because I remember he was the one in that meeting when everyone else came out and said, oh yeah, they're definitely not telling us everything. He's like, I'm more convinced now that there's really not a lot going on. But I think his opinions change here and there. I don't know. I don't know the conversations that they're having, but I know that this is progress. And I know this is something that, maybe now they're going to get more information from him and the things that he wasn't able to say. Did they ever really get into that skiff? Remember when they had that whole, the hearing that was the one, I guess, that really moved the needle in 2023? Not that cockamamie one they had in 2024, but the one that they had in 2023, and Grusch and Graves and Fravor were out there and they were talking. And the frustrating thing for a lot of us, and Grusch as well, was that I can't tell you that, but I can tell you in a skiff. Did they ever get into that skiff? Did they ever go in there and talk? Did he ever give any information out there? And if not, is that some of the stuff that he'll be able to do now? Like, what would the actual job entail? What is the questions that I would love to ask is, what is the benefit of indeed having him there? Not only for his expertise, that would be the answer. Well, his expertise and things that he knows. Yeah, but what will it achieve? Because we all think that, yeah, of course we want Grusch there, but what will it achieve? What can it achieve? That's the type of stuff that I want to know. Like, when he is there, who will he be working with directly? Is it Luna and the task force? What will they be trying to do? What can they ultimately do? And again, referencing what Ross Coulthart said a couple of weeks ago, that it really is going to come from high above here, that they've got to be able to get the clearance and the sign off from the president. And they got to say, okay, let us do this. And who's to say that's going to happen? And I'm telling you, the thing that bothers me the most was the drone explanation. That to me means that this is going to be the same, like it was pitched that this administration is going to tell us everything. They're going to tell us everything. But the first thing they do is tell you that the FAA was involved in those drones, and the FAA was not involved in those drones. They said as much. I don't know what the hell was going on. And there was been no follow-up answer to that. So how do we know that they're not going to do the same thing that every other administration has done and just give you the runaround? And we have a team that's working on this thing. Let the people know that they have a team. And then when the team needs, there's certain things, you can't sign off on that. They're going to lose their minds if we do that. And we talked about Neil deGrasse Tyson the other day, and the guy is brilliant. He is. I think that when he talks about UFOs and alien life, I think he comes off as an imbecile sometimes because of the things that he says about, like what he said about Jay Stratton and other things without really getting enough context into it. He comes off as a bit of an ignoramus when it comes to those things. But it does not take away from how brilliant the man is when it comes to science and other things. And he was talking about, I don't remember what clip it was, but he was talking about, someone asked him about teleportation, right? And said, is teleportation going to happen? He said, that's a possibility, and with enough technology. But he thinks wormholes are, and I'm going somewhere with this, but he says wormholes are more likely to happen, that they'll be able to discover how to break time and space to be able to do that. And someone in the comments made a great point. And he said that, will the big plane companies in the airlines, will they ever let that happen? And that's kind of where I think a lot of this comes down to, right? It's a matter of, if there's this type of technology, whether it's free energy, whether it's the ability to be able to not need airplanes and those types of things, or faster travel, and wouldn't there be people that would feel like, okay, well, our best interest for us to make money is to not tell people about this, because if they do, we are not prepared yet for our company to be part of this movement, to be able to benefit from this. We will lose billions of dollars. What about the fact that it could help humanity, and the fact that it could, make things easier for people? Did you not hear the part we said we would lose billions of dollars? That's how it works. In the same way that anybody that wants to, because I've mentioned this a bunch of times, you announce you have this type of stuff, you announce you have, and let's take aliens and everything else out of the equation, and let's just say that there's that they've discovered how to do this kind of thing. Let's say, I don't think many people dispute that there are things that are seen in the sky in general that can't be explained. And let's say that it has nothing to do with otherworldly stuff and other things, despite what Grusch said and everything else. Let's just say that it's just a matter of a government, our government, a different country's government, figured out a way to bend time, space, and figured out a way to do things with the atmosphere that we couldn't even imagine, right? Well, that is something that you would have to disclose and do it for monetary purposes. Again, we're not ready to do that yet. We are about 10 years away. We're about 20 years away before we can introduce this to where these companies that we work with are not going to be bankrupt. And that's what I hope with Grusch and those people. I hope that kind of investigation happens. I hope that is, you hope it's some kind of thing out of a John Grisham novel, that it's discovered and that it's brought out there to the public, and we figured it out. But usually with situations like this, the unfortunate side of it is, in the real life, the bad guys win. I know it's kind of a bad way, not a bad way, glass half empty way to look at it, but am I wrong? Anyway, do you think that Grusch being involved in this, I think that most of you are going to say it's a good thing, but is it something like, oh, now we're moving here, now we're cooking? What do you think? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. As I always tell you, you can support this channel. If you want to become a member, you can do that. Please do that. If you wanted to say, hey, I like what you're doing here, and I want to get myself something, well, get yourself some Public Rec. I'm literally wearing them right now. You can wear them to the gym. You can wear them anywhere. I love them. I'll tell you about them, and then I'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks, guys. My style has gotten so much better since I started this podcast. I'll tell you that. I've just learned about companies that I didn't know about before, and I'm so glad. Public Rec is like my go-to. I love Public Rec. I've been so comfortable in these pants that I've been getting for them, and I'll tell you, you want to be real? Let's get real. Nobody's got time for these stiff, uncomfortable clothes anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, it's February. It's cold, and you deserve to be comfortable in whatever you're wearing. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Public Rec does that. Then the pants I'm telling you about, they're a game changer. They're designed to be as comfy as your favorite sweats, but they are way more stylish. My wife saw them in them. She's like, oh my gosh, what are those? I said, at Public Rec. Super soft fabric, no stiff seams, and enough stretch to keep up with whatever your day throws at you. It's not just about pants. They have so many great style options, whether you're working all day in the office, running errands, grabbing a drink with the guys. Who doesn't want to look sharp without sacrificing comfort? And I'll tell you, once you put them on, you're going to wonder why you ever wore anything else. Now, Public Rec not only has the most comfortable pants ever made, but they have a huge selection of high-quality, everyday premium styles. You can revamp your entire wardrobe with their perfect fitting polos, shorts, hoodies. This February, treat yourself right because comfort is always in season. Upgrade to Public Rec and feel the difference. For a limited time, you can get 20% off at Public Rec by using the code DTE at checkout. You just head to publicrec.com, you use that code DTE, you're all set. Oh, when they ask you how you found them, you got to tell them that we sent you. It does. It really helps us out. Find your perfect fit. Never compromise on comfort again. Public Rec, where comfort rules.